Continuing the trend of roasting Terraria weapons to death, I figured now would be the best time ever to finally take a look at the last biome chest weapon, which, let's all be honest, is utter hot garbage. Yeah, of course I'm talking about the Frost Hydra staff. Now, honestly, since its introduction in 1.2, I'm pretty sure we can all agree on it being the weakest link out of the other biome chest weapons, especially nowadays when the Desert Tiger staff exists. However, today, and after numerous buffs in its lifespan, I'm gonna go a step further and claim that it might just be one of the worst weapons in the entire game, period. Before we begin ripping this thing to shreds though, wanna know something insane? Around 80% of you beautiful people aren't subbed to the channel. So if you enjoy these weapon reviews, don't forget to drop a like and sub, as it really helps out. Okay, let us begin. As many of you probably know, with the Frost Hydra being a biome chest weapon, its obtainability isn't exactly straightforward, where if you want to get any relevance out of this thing, you're gonna want to start farming for it straight after defeating Plantera. Now, with the frozen key we're after having an agonizing 1 in 1,500 drop rate, while you could just head to your snow biome and farm for it organically, for even the actually decent biome key weapons, this isn't worth it, as the hours spent here could be spent defeating Golem instead. So, you're going to want it quick, and the best way I found to get the job done is by building an optimized platform farm. Now, I've gone into detail about building these in the past, so we'll just stick to the basics here. And in short, you're going to want to make sure you've placed a 1,500 snow or ice blocks in the vicinity to create your artificial snow biome. And as a little pointer, I would make sure to use ice over snow blocks, as with the way biome keys work, you can very simply overlap other biomes to simultaneously farm multiple keys in one sitting. For example here, this farm can generate Frozen, Corruption, and Crimson keys in the same kill. Well, assuming you hit God RNG. Either way though, with just a simple offensive summoner setup, it really shouldn't take you too long to hit your Frozen key to drop. For me here, it literally took like 5 mins. If you are having trouble however, you can always just go AFK, and hopefully return to see an inventory full of all the keys you'll ever need. Right, once you've cashed in your winnings at the dungeon for possibly the worst prize you could select, let's take a good old look at this thing. I think what makes the Frost Hydra staffs out of place is mostly when it was introduced, with its functionality aging poorly every update. You see, although the Frost Hydra was the first Sentry weapon in the game, this was long before this was an actual subclass, making balancing it impossible. And as you can see here, its performance on single targets is far from spectacular, dealing a very slow but constant 100 DPS on this dummy. But as you can see, combined with other weapon fire, despite it purposely being a support weapon, it gets completely buried in the mix quite quickly, becoming such a small percent of the actual damage you'll be dealing around this progression point. Oh, and even with it having 3 piercing, whoa, I didn't really notice much difference here, even in its best scenario. So yeah, it's just incredibly lackluster. And come on, let's not forget that another summoner biome chest weapon does exist, so it's not like we're short on things to compare it to. And as you can see, in a real scenario the Frost Hydra staff becomes nothing more than a fly on the wall during fights, contributing minimally to take down these mimics. And if I'm completely honest, I wouldn't be as hard on this thing if it wasn't locked behind an elusive biome key. But with things like the Scourging competition, it's not even in the same dimension. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's a Sentry support weapon. It's not supposed to be doing primary weapon damage. Which, while I do get, even if you were to break the bounds of the game and do a full-on Sentry build, 10 of these damn things couldn't even break 2,000 DPS against a single target. And let's be real, most of you summoners will only actually get a 10th of that. So, while I get its Treader's bonus damage on the side of a main fight, with a mid-upgraded Tiger and Whip being able to deal more than 40 times the damage of one Frost Hydra, I genuinely think you'll lose damage just spending the time switching and casting the Hydra down. It's actually just that bad. If we really want to give this thing a chance though, I suppose one of the perks of it being a Sentry means it can be placed anywhere on the screen through tiles, which may suggest it'll be the perfect weapon for farming events and invasions. But wait a minute, what's that other weapon from another biome? Oh, the Rainbow Gun exists, which like so many other support weapons in the game, deals literally thousands more DPS if placed in the right spot. So, if I have anything truly good to say about the Frost Hydra, is that it can be used as an extremely expensive portable light, which also has a built-in pest deterrent feature. Have I been a little harsh on this weapon today, or has something which when released was already pretty meh just become even worse over time? The thing is though, with this finding itself in such an important place compared to some other more obscure weapons, I'm positive Relogic will cook us something up. Whether that be a buff or overhaul though, I don't know, but I think it definitely needs something. This has been sockrteez, and I'll see you in the next one.